Thank you guys for coming. It's funny. As we know, my brother here in Yaksha was killed. He was ganged up on by the demigods and Vishnu. I don't take it lightly, but this is one of those things that shouldn't aggrieve us. Some of you are lamenting. Family, friends, I've heard. Why? He was a warrior. He died. That's what warriors do. They go into battle and they die at the hands of their enemy. It's valid. So don't be aggrieved. There's nothing to be aggrieved about. You want to be like one of those birds? You've heard the story of the birds? This cunning hunter, he had a net set up and he had these little bit of food there, and female and male bird, the female bird starts walking, gets enchanted by this net, got pulled in. And what did the male bird do? He could see, I can't help my wife, and oh, my wife. Oh, I wish I could help her, but what am I going to do? And he starts thinking about himself. Oh, poor me. My children, how will they eat? What will I eat? What's going to happen to me? And that very cunning hunter took back his bow. Very smart. And he shot him dead. You see, you want to end up like the birds. This body, what is it made of? Earth, water, fire. It's nothing. We get this body for what? You got a job. You got to do some work in this body, don't you? When that work is over, we go on to a different one. Don't be aggrieved. There's nothing to be aggrieved about. Although some of you are living in fear. And this is what bothers me the most. You see, when we understand the philosophy, we will begin to act just, won't we? Righteous. It's inherent. So therefore I have a question for you. If we understand this, why would we take sides? Why would the Supreme Person, who's in control, right? He's in control. You ever lose your money on the street? And then run back and find it, and you found it? How about this? You ever hear of somebody who stuck their money in a safe, and they kept it away, and then a robber came and got it? Who sanctions that? It's the Supreme Lord, right? He's in control. When we understand this philosophy, then we'll begin to act just. Vishnu is influenced by mind. You're taking shelter of Vishnu, you're a fool. Therefore, I'm going to ask you to do some work. I will go to Mandara Hill and I will perform austerity. And you will destroy the yogic culture. You will go and cut the root of the tree. Does this make sense? When you cut the root of the tree, then all the branches and all the twigs, they automatically dry up. So therefore, I will sever his head and you will kill the culture. Does this make sense? So you go wherever there's cow sacrifice, wherever there's study of the Vedas, wherever there's austerity, wherever there's any type of piety. Set fire to these places. And we will not live in fear anymore. Sound good? Any questions?
And thus the so-called rulers, being fond of disastrous activities, took Hiranyakashipu's instructions on their heads with great respect. According to his directions, they engaged in envious activities, directed against all living beings. They set fire to the cities, villages, pasturing grounds, gardens, and natural forests. They burned the hermitages of the saintly persons, the important mines that produced valuable metals, the residential quarters of the agriculturalists, the mountain villages, and the villages of the cow protectors. They also burned the government capitals. Some of the demons took digging instruments and broke down the bridges, the protective walls and the gates of the cities. And some took axes and began cutting the important trees that produced mango, jackfruit, and other sources of food. Some of the demons took firebrands and set fire to the residential quarters of all of the citizens. Thus disturbed again and again by the unnatural occurrences caused by the followers of Hiranyakashipu, all the people had to cease the activities of yogic culture. Not receiving the results of sacrifice, the demigods also became disturbed. They left their residential quarters in the heavenly planets and, unobserved by the demons, began wandering on the planet Earth to see the disasters. Meanwhile, hungry for the power of ruling, Hiranyakashipu decided to perform incredible austerities. He went to the valley of Mandara Hill and stood on his tiptoes and outstretched his hands towards the sky. Forsaking food and water, he was completely determined to get his benedictions. Eventually, his whole body withered away, and he was covered by an anthill. Hiranyakashipu was expert at understanding the yogic practices of material results. His determination attracted the attention of the demigods, and he perfected this art by attracting Lord Brahma himself to appear before him, who had to award him the results of his sacrifice.
O son of Kasyapa Muni, please get up. All good fortune unto you. You are now perfect in the performance of your austerities, and therefore I may give you a benediction. You may now ask from me whatever you desire, and I shall try to fulfill your wish. I have been very much astonished to see your endurance. In spite of being eaten and bitten by all kinds of worms and ants, you are keeping your life air circulating within your bones. Certainly, this is wonderful. Even saintly persons like Brigu, born previously, could not perform such severe austerities, nor will anyone in the future be able to do so. Who within these three worlds can sustain his life without even drinking water for 100 celestial years? My dear son of Diti, with your great determination and austerity, you have done what was impossible, even for great saintly persons, and thus I have certainly been conquered by you. Best of the Asuras, for this reason I am now prepared to give you all benedictions, according to your desire. I belong to the celestial world of demigods, who do not die like human beings. Therefore, although you are subject to death, your audience with me will not go in vain.
My dear Lord Brahma, you are the controller of the whole material manifestation. You inspire all of our consciousness. You control our minds, thoughts. Therefore, I'm very grateful that you're awarding me these benedictions. If you kindly grant me these benedictions, I ask you, please, do not let me die in any residence or outside any residence. And do not let me die in the sky nor on the ground. And do not let me die by any weapon, or any animal, or any great snake from the lower planetary systems, or any demigod or demon, or any living entity that you've created. My Lord, you are the controller of all the living entities. So therefore, I ask that you grant me the same benediction. Make me the ruler of all of the living entities and all the presiding deities. And let me know that power. And grant me perfection of all the 8 mystic powers. For these don't go away with time. If you would please grant me this.
Thus the sacrifices that Hiranyakashipu asked for, they were given. Hiranyakashipu received what he was so desirous of: fame, power, wealth, opulence. His heart hard from austerities, and his false ego inflated. He ruled over everyone with terror.
Yeah, I remember a time when Vishnu ruled. Very difficult time. It was a time that was filled with austerity. Do you remember? Very difficult, this yoga culture. Some of you, I can see in your hearts, are still afraid of this Vishnu. But since I've done my austerities, I've had a realization I'd like to share with you. Has any of you ever seen Vishnu? I mean, really, has anybody ever really seen Vishnu? How about a better question? Who brought you your meal today? Huh? Who brought it? Did Vishnu personally bring it? Or was it the demons who brought it? Yeah. So why would you be afraid of someone that doesn't exist? It's just a question. Be peaceful. You're under my rule. Hiranya means gold. We're in a golden age.
Hiranyakashipu became the conqueror of the entire universe. Indeed, that great demon conquered all the planets in the 3 worlds, upper, middle, and lower. He defeated the rulers of all the other planets where there are living entities and brought them under his control. Conquering the abodes of all, he seized their power and influence. Hiranyakashipu, who possessed all opulence, began residing in heaven. He resided in the most opulent palace of Indra, the king of heaven. The palace had been directly constructed by the demigod architect, Vishvakarma, and it was as beautifully made as if the goddess of fortune of the entire universe resided there. Everyone prayed for help, and the Lord, he responded.
When Hiranyakashipu teases the great devotee Prahlad, his own son, who is peaceful and sober and who has no enemy, I shall kill Hiranyakashipu immediately, despite the benedictions of Lord Brahma.
Hiranyakashipu was really certain that he was the controller. After all, he was beautiful, charismatic, undefeatable, and smart. Yet a change was about to happen that was quite unexpected. You see, Hiranyakashipu had many sons, and he wanted them to be trained by the best possible teachers. He hired a wonderful teacher, Sukracharya, who really was only in it for the money. In his defense, he had to take care of his sons. But a true priest doesn't take a position just to maintain himself and his sons. Well, his sons, they were incredible teachers. They were learned and scholarly, yet they taught only what was pleasing to their father, who was ill-motivated. And he was engrossed in the material sciences of temporary enjoyment. So after some time, they brought Prahlad before his father.
Hi, Prahlad. So wonderful, Prahlad. You're studying with your teachers? Are you learning? Tell me, what is the best that you've learned so far?
My dear Father, King of the demons, as far as I've learned from my spiritual master, anyone who's accepted this temporary body and temporary household life is full of anxiety. It's like falling into a dark well where there is no happiness, there's only anxiety. Father, what we should do is go to the forest. Better yet, please go to Vrindavan. Everyone's a devotee of Krishna, and we can take shelter of his lotus feet.
The intelligence of the boy is spoiled. Fix it up. Give him all protection. Obviously, a Vaishnav is infiltrated. Train his consciousness.
Dear son Vlad, what good fortune unto you. Please, speak to us the truth and do not tell lies. You see, these boys, they're not like you. They do not speak in such deviant ways. Where have you learned these instructions? How has your intelligence been spoiled this way?
Prahlad, we just want to know, has an enemy infiltrated and spoiled your consciousness? We only care about you. We're your teachers. We only want the best for you. Please tell us the truth.
Let me first offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is only by his external energy that we can see these distinctions of a friend or an enemy. It's very bewildering, the thought that someone could be my friend or someone could be my enemy, because we are all eternal servants of God. And thus there's no difference between us. My dear teachers, dear Brahmins, thank you so much for everything you've given me. Though I have been changed by his will, thus I have no independence.
Amarka, have you ever heard such a foolish, dumb statement such as this? In all my years of scholarship, I've never heard such dumb statements. No friends and enemies? Are you serious? That is the talk of a sannyasi.
It seems that somewhere along the path, you got some things a little bit twisted.
A little bit?
We just want to bring it back to the basics for you. Your father, Hiranyakashipu, he's the greatest king in the universe. And it's your duty as his son to follow in his footsteps and to serve him as your spiritual master.
You begin by that. Religiosity. It begins with simply the basics. What is the basic of religiosity? Bhakti. What is bhakti? Bhakti is knowing which deity to ask what for. With devotion, you go to this deity for this thing and that one for that. And if you know the rules of the game, you can get anything you want. Then there is economic development.
Once you have mastered this yogic process of bhakti, and you've won the favor of the demigods, you have to acquire wealth and influence in the world. Once you have wealth and influence, you'll have power. You'll be respected by the entire universe. As the crown gem, as the prince regent.
And then there is sense gratification, the ultimate goal. Why do you want sense gratification? Because it is your duty. It is your duty as a king. Kings are supposed to enjoy. If they do not enjoy, if they do not have that, people will not listen to them. They will not follow them.
They'll become lazy.
Can you imagine that?
They'll go to the forest and wander and forget the purpose of life.
We don't want to go to the forest. Marka gets rashes from wearing tree bark.
All we're trying to do, because we care about you deeply, is just to show you this easy path to eternal enjoyment. Do you understand this, Prahlad? Good boy.
After some time, the teachers, Sanda and Amarka, thought that Prahlad Maharaj was sufficiently educated in the diplomatic affairs of pacifying public leaders, appeasing them by giving them lucrative positions, dividing and ruling over them, and punishing them in cases of disobedience. Then, one day, after Prahlad's mother had personally washed the boy and dressed him nicely, with sufficient ornaments, they again presented him before his father.
Mind you, Prahlad, you're getting so old. A long-lived one. You're learning from your teachers, training you well. Wonderful. And please repeat to me, what is the best subject that you've learned thus far?
Father, the best subject that I've learned, the 9 processes of devotional service. Hearing, chanting, and remembering Lord Vishnu, serving his lotus feet, worshipping him in the deity form, praying, surrendering our whole heart to him, following his will, and allowing the Lord to be one's very best friend. Of everything I've learned, this is absolutely the best.
No! Please, no! Please.
Betrayed him?
No,
You're teaching him about devotional service.
I haven't taught him that, please.
Teach him.
No.
Then who's teaching him? Who's teaching him? You're teaching him?
Wasn't us, my lord, I promise.
Sometimes friends show themselves to be very nice. And then eventually, what happens is their enmity becomes manifest. You understand? Eventually. So if you're not teaching him, you're not teaching him, who's teaching him?
We don't know.
Who's teaching you this, Prahlad? Who's teaching you this?
Father, you're too addicted to materialistic life. You're chewing that which has already been chewed. Father, you're like following a blind man into a ditch. You're going to fall down. Please go to Vrindavan and smear your body with the dust from the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Father, this is your only hope, please.
Prahlad, kill him. Kill him immediately. This is the killer of my brother. You see, he has taken shelter of Vishnu. He's got a nice family, but he's taken shelter of Vishnu, and I'm out of control. I'm out of control. Prahlad, Just like a yogi on the path is uncontrolled, senses are a big impediment, right? Well, also, a family member who cannot be controlled is also a big impediment, isn't it, Prahlad? Therefore, I'm going to have to kill you. Whether eating, sleeping, walking, standing, sitting, make sure that he
The demons, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, thus began striking the tender parts of Prahlad's body with their tridents. The demons all had fearful faces, sharp teeth, and reddish coppery beards and hair, and they appeared extremely threatening. Making a tumultuous sound, shouting, "Chop him! Pierce him!" they began striking Prahlad Maharaj, who sat silently, meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The weapons of the demons had no tangible effects upon Prahlad Maharaj because he was a devotee, undisturbed by material conditions, and fully engaged in meditating upon and serving the Supreme Personality, who is unchangeable, who cannot be realized by the material senses, and who is the soul of the entire universe. When all the attempts of the demons to kill Prahlad Maharaj were futile, the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, being most fearful, began contriving other means to kill him. Hiranyakashipu could not kill his sons by throwing him beneath the feet of big elephants, throwing him among huge, fearful snakes, employing destructive spells, hurling him from the top of a hill, conjuring up illusory tricks, administering poison, starving him, exposing him to severe cold, winds, fire, and water, or throwing heavy stones to crush him. When Hiranyakashipu found that he could not in any way harm Prahlad, who was completely sinless, he was in great anxiety about what to do next.
This Prahlad, I've used many ill names for him. Yet he seems to be immortal. He resembles a dog's curved tail. Cannot be straightened. He always remembers his master Vishnu, and he never forgets my misdeeds. That's what I can understand. He may be the death of me. Or not. Sunday. I know.
My lord, when you simply raise your eyebrows, all the controllers of the planets come in fear. You alone have conquered all of the universe by yourself. You need not be in anxiety, my lord, especially about this Prahlad. You know, he's just a little boy.
So who says I'm in anxiety?
No, nobody. I'm just saying, like, this Prahlad, if we tie him up with the ropes of Varuna, he will not be able to escape. And then with time, with instruction, and by serving the spiritual teacher Shukracharya, he will come to his senses. His intelligence will come to be, and you'll be happy.
Mm-hmm. This is your plan?
Yes, my lord.
It's interesting. So you'll train him up to be a royal householder.
Yes.
He has great powers. He'll be a real asset. You're speaking when I'm speaking? He could work. Although, son, this is the second, and this will make it the third time. So, I mean, it's possible. But I will entrust you with this service. Do you know what that means? Yes.
Prahlad, please. Please. Why? Just listen. Just look what you're doing. Your father's in anxiety. Our lives are on the line. All of the citizens are wondering what's going to happen. Is this the way? Is this your spirituality? Is this what you want?
First leg of Dharma is ahimsa, Prahlad, non-violence. You're going to be the death of us. By your so-called bhakti and devotion, you're causing harm to so many.
You're playing the sadhu, saintly Prahlad, but you're really psycho Prahlad.
We only want the best for you, Prahlad, as does your father. He just wants you to be trained as a prince. He only wants you to take the throne after him. Don't you see? He only wants the best for you. And we only want the best for you.
We want you to become a great leader. To be like a big fish, eating all the little fishes. You'll be a great fish.
We want you to be powerful. We want you to be successful in life. And we only want you to perform your dharma. If you don't perform your dharma, your religiosity, the entire world will crumble under your rule.
Please just get it into your little head. Somehow or other, please just do this. Just when they say,
Son, it's okay. Prahlad, you understand us. You love us and care about us. Please, just like a parrot, just repeat the words that we're saying right now.
All you have to do is repeat.
Sense gratification is the essence, my father. That's all. Just say that alone when he asks you.
You'll be so happy.
You'll be so happy. We'll be so happy, and then you'll be so happy.
Everybody will be happy.
Okay? And that's it. We have to go perform our duty.
What?
We'll be right back. You stay here. Just stay here. Come.
We still have to go.
Come on.
We still have to go to the lesson.
Friends, we just have a few moments. They're going to come back soon. We have a maximum duration of life of 100 years. Only 100 years, all of us. For our earliest days, we're playing, we're hanging out with one another. That's 10 or 20 years, gone. In our older life, the mind is in anxiety and full of so many other things. That's at least another 20 years that's gone. Right now is the time we have to take this process very seriously. Look at my father. He has everything. All of the wealth. He's still not happy. Money will not make you happy. My friends, we are not enemies or friends. We are all servants of God. There is no difference between us. So let's chant these names together. Om, Om Namo, Namo Bhagavate, Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
You obstinate fool! You disobey the orders of your father. You've discarded your family affection. Therefore, I may have to harm. I'm wondering, Prahlad, by whose strength are you doing this?
My dear king, the source of my strength of which you are asking is the same source as yours. For indeed, the source of all strength is one. He is not just yours or mine, but he is the only strength for everyone. Whether moving or not moving, superior or inferior, everyone, including Lord Brahma, is completely controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality is the supreme controller and time factor. He is the power of the mind, the power of the body, and the power of the senses. His influence is unlimited. He is the best of all the living entities.
Where is he, brother?
My father, give up this demoniac mentality. My father, let your mind be equiposed towards everyone.
My mind?
Besides, for your mind, there is no enemy in this world.
Are you saying you're better at controlling your senses than me? Did you go to Mandara Hill? Did you go to Mandara Hill? For 100 celestial years? Therefore, I can understand that this is talk of somebody who wants to die. You will be sent to the court of Yamaraj today. I've been debating how I do it. But I guess personally, I'll have to kill you. You know, you speak of this all-pervading, this Vishnu, the source of my power, yet I've never seen him. So I'm wondering, where is he? Vishnu? Is he up here? Okay. So your Vishnu's here then. Hey Vishnu! Really? I don't see him. Is he in this pillar? Really? He's in this pillar. Because I don't see him. And I would at one point in my life like to see him. So please show him to me. I guess I'll have to fight. Do you know my benedictions? Do you understand who I am? Do you know who I am?
anger now that the great demon Hiranyakashipu has been killed. Because you have incarnated, we can all be free from fear. My Lord, you are conquered by no one, though I am not afraid by your sharp eyes, teeth, or nails. I am not afraid of your blood-soaked mane or garland of intestines.
My dear Prahlad, you have pleased me greatly with your devotion and deep faith that I am your protector. Please ask me anything, and I will grant you anything.
My Lord, this is not a business transaction. I do not want anything.
Please, it would please me greatly to give you anything, your heart's desire.
Please liberate my father.
Of course, Prahlad, because you have asked this, this will be done. For 21 generations before as well.
We learn of a devout yogi who followed the regulations of yoga in order to fulfill selfish desires and gain total control. In the end, we understand that only love prevails. And as much as we seek to control, we are not, in fact, the controllers. Hiranyakashipu understood the science of the Vedas. And here, we learn the essence. May we dive deeply into our spiritual disciplines, simply to honor and please Govinda, the ultimate controller of it all. May we humble ourselves so that we may realize our position as the eternal servant of His will, understanding yoga, that our deepest fulfillment comes from reuniting our will back to His. In that we become completely fearless, backed by the most powerful force in the universe, His love. With that love, we can then love in this world without fear. Because then the deepest, realest, and most fearless love is moving through us. May we take full advantage of our mere 100 years in these bodies, without wasting even a moment, by always remembering and never forgetting Him. Namaste,